and welcome back to my channel, guys. My name is Dania, I'm from Belarus, Minsk, but since 2018 I live in Bremen, Germany, and I report about everything that happens to me in this country on my YouTube channel, so please like, subscribe and share if you're interested. In the last video I was talking about my very first experience in Germany when I was 11 years old, and if you still didn't see the video, please check it out here. And in this video I want to continue the topic and I want to compare specifically Belarusian and German hospitals based on my childhood experience, because when I was 11 years old I was in a German hospital, and 2 years later when I was 13 I was in a Belarusian hospital. And let's compare my experience and see what I came up with. I hope you will have fun, guys. I think all children are scared of the doctors because when you're a child, the doctor is probably the only person that is going to bring pain into your life. But when we get mature, we get a lot more trouble in our lives, so we already can handle the doctors, but we still don't like the pain that they may bring us, and that's quite alright. But if we can control ourselves, then children can't, and they need us adults to comfort them and help them on this way. But when I was 11, I didn't have anyone like that for me because I was alone in Germany and I didn't know the language, and I kind of was really scared and getting panic because I was alone and I was 11. What else would you expect from a child, right? And I didn't have any major health issue, thank God. But it was just my earring that got stuck inside of my ear because I pressed the edges of it too hard on my ear, and my skin somehow absorbed the earring, so I couldn't take it out anymore. And at this point I was scared that doctors either gonna remove my ear completely, like chop it off, or that this thing would like somehow crawl through my body and stay inside of it forever, just like that creepy thing in Neo's body, remember? Well, I guess I watched too much Matrix when I was a child. And I was very lucky that the family that I was staying in not only brought me to the hospital very quickly so I stopped crying and panicking, but also they found me a Russian doctor that was really nice, polite and kind, and he explained everything to me. He calmed me down, he even hugged me and said that it's going to be alright, that there is not going to be any scar left, that I'm not going to feel any pain. And just like that, by talking and distracting me, he removed that earring. I didn't even feel any pain because before that he used like a freezing spray, so I didn't even feel his fingers on my ear. It was done so quickly. I was still sitting on the bed and I'm like, that's it? And he was like, yeah, you can go, you're all healthy now. And I was so happy. I mean, I went home and I was telling everyone how great German doctors are because I was so amazed. I felt like, wow, this is the level of medicine that I want to have, even though it was just that minor thing, you know. But when I was 13, I didn't get that lucky, even though all doctors spoke my language and I had my mom by my side, because I had sinusitis that was misdiagnosed for a long time. So by the time they discovered what's wrong with me, they already agreed that there is no other way to treat me besides going through surgery. And it was very scary because they did it without painkillers, and they had to break my nose 4 times. Yeah. So you know, this is the result. Do you like it? But well, I will try to get to the point as soon as possible, but first of all I need to warn you that further details may be quite disgusting, so you know, sensitive content, blah 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 blah. Like, take care, guys. I will try to get to the point as soon as possible, but you know me. So by the time I got to the hospital, I was already in that extreme pain that if I got out of bed too quickly, I could lose my consciousness because the amount of pus inside of my nostrils was already blocking not only the airways, but also putting a lot of pressure on my brain. So it was kind of shutting me down when I was getting up. And it was very painful. But of course I was still a child, so I was scared of the pain and I didn't want to do any kind of surgery, and I was hoping that there is a way to remove all of it without cutting through it. But unfortunately, there was no other way, and the best thing that the doctors could come up with to kind of persuade me to go to the surgery is that they say that I'm going to die if I'm not gonna do that. I still don't know if that's true, but I was terrified. So by the time I got to the room, they kind of binded me to a chair, and another woman was just holding my face like that. So I was already knowing that nothing good is coming up, and they didn't even bother telling me it's going to be alright or something. They just said, don't cry, else all of the freezing will be washed off. And that made me cry instantly. So all of the freezing that they put inside of my nose didn't work. So I felt everything. And everything means they got like something like a nail and a hammer, and they put it inside of my nose, and then they just until they got a hole, and then they got a huge syringe, and they was sucking it all out with that syringe. It was disgusting, I'm sorry. But there was so much that they had to do it 4 times. And they couldn't do it all in a single day because they probably already lost their hearing from my screams, and because, of course, I was trying to scratch and bite and move, and that's why they actually broke the outside part of my nose, because of course I tried to resist the pain and I couldn't control myself when I was screaming. So my nose is not really straight ever since. What can I do? So I had to go there myself twice, and I still remember that I was alone because nobody gonna allow your parent to be at the surgery. I think it's a universal thing, and also because my parents had to work and they only could visit me during their visiting hours. So I was on my own, I was terrified, and the doctors were not helping at all. They didn't care because they had to do this kind of surgeries all day long. So they just, for him it was easier to just hold my body because I was still a small girl, and they just needed 2 people to hold me still while the third one is doing the job. But I'm so traumatized ever since that every time I have to sit in that chair to get my nose checkup, I just check if there is any like surgical instruments on the table just in case, and I sweat immediately and I like shake, because even though I know this is just a regular checkup, inner girl that still is in me is screaming that no, they're gonna do this again. And I hope nobody has to go through this, especially when you're a child, because, if I was imagining that a piece of my earring gonna stay in my body forever, just like a living chip, imagine what I was thinking about when they were doing this. That was horrible. So I told it once to my German colleague, and she said like, oh my god, this is a violence, this is not allowed, and nobody would do that in Germany. And I kind of want to get a proof, like if I get kids here in Germany, like will they be treated better? Like will you like tell them any kind of lie to calm them down, or like, because I don't want my children to go through this, I don't want anyone to go through this. It was very unpleasant experience to very least, and it also, I don't consider it right, but as a Belarusian that I am, I have an excuse for that, because of course in Germany you pay for your health insurance, and you kind of get a special treatment from every doctor because it's their job, and they actually have an appointment for everyone, and they are not working in that kind of stress that Belarusian hospitals are working, where everyone just comes in and they don't even pay you. The government pays you, because in Belarus nobody has health insurance, and the medicine is free, and when it's free, like nobody gonna care about your feelings. So nobody cared about my psychological or mental health when I was a child, and if I had a more serious issue, I could be traumatized for life, and that could affect me a lot even when I became an adult. But it is the way it is, and of course I would wish that Belarus also gets the health insurance and a better healthcare system in general. but in the current situation it is impossible, and it is saddening me a lot. So this is it. This is a small comparison. This is my experience in Germany and in Belarus in the hospitals. And tell me what you think about it. And did you have to go through something like this when you was a child? Tell me in the comments. I will be waiting. Thank you so much for your attention, and I will catch you next week. Bye!